Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I am back to work on the abandoned journal, the flip-flop journal with the abandoned kit. And yes, this was those manila envelopes, and it still is. It's just I have colored it, and I will show you what I did. Take these out of here. I just took some Rusty Hinge Distress Oxide, some Walnut Stain Distress Oxide, and I also have Walnut Stain Distress Oxide spray, so I also used that. So what I did while this was, once it was dry, remember we put the tissue paper all on one side, well I ended up putting it on the other side as well, and that's this side, and I somehow glued this envelope shut when I was putting the tissue paper on the other side. I don't know how, but it was very stuck, and so I just left it sealed, and this side I'm going to have open. So the journal will open like this. There'll be a signature here. This will flip over. The big pocket is there. There will be a signature here. Then that will be the back, and then when you open it this way, there'll be another signature here. So I also got other paper stuck on there when it was drying that I didn't realize, but it kind of added some cool texture. But anyway, what I did is I took like my walnut stain, for example, and I just rubbed it like this on there. And then I took a wet paper towel, and my paper towel has a little bit of hand sanitizer, but you can just use water, because you know these will oxidize with water, so it doesn't have to be hand sanitizer. That's just what I had on a baby wipe. Anything like that would work. So you're just rubbing it a little with the ink, and then rubbing it, you know, with the wet paper towel. And yes, you are losing some by doing that, but it kind of buffs it a little bit, and I think it gives it that kind of rust look. It looks, or not rust, leather, like a leather look, rusty leather in this case. But yeah, so I just rub it, and then if I wanted like a lot more color, I sprayed it with the walnut stain spray. So that is all I did to the whole thing, and I just kept playing around with it until I had it, you know, kind of like how I wanted it. The cool part about that walnut stain is it really oxidizes really well. I got this a little more wet, so it's kind of cool. But yeah, you're just rubbing it all into wherever, and it gets in all the little creases and stuff, which that's what I like, because that's, I feel like, what gives it that leather look, is when it's in all, I'm almost out of that, when it's in all those little crevices, you know. So anyway, that's what I did. And the other cool thing about doing that is it dries pretty fast, so you don't have to wait a long time. It just gives it some interest, I feel like. I'm gonna go a little more on this edge, make it darker. So how are you guys doing? I hope that you are all fantastic. I'm doing well, and guess what I forgot? Every time I say, how are you doing, it dings in my head that I forgot my little notebook. So I will be right back. Okay, hugs and blessings to Carolyn, Nancy, and Tamra. Love you guys. Thank you so much for your kind comments. I really, really appreciate all of you very, very much. I want to say welcome to new subscribers. Welcome back to continuing subscribers. I hope you're all doing fantastically. And we're going to start again with a piece of corrugated cardboard. I'm not going to put the envelopes on the front, just, you know, just want to do something different. I'm going to put the corrugated cardboard right on there this time. And I'll try to get as much of this done with you guys as possible. I know last time I didn't, you know, do the whole thing because I wasn't really sure. I mean, I'm never totally sure when I do covers. I'm just going to be honest. They're sort of a thing that I just wing and try to come up with something I like. So, I mean, that's the way I do a lot of things, but anyways, I'm going to do the same thing I did on my cover and see how that goes. That was a lot right there. Because I like the way it oxidizes. It probably would be smarter to put some paint first or something, some gesso, but I don't really want the white, although it would most likely get covered. Oh, the spray would be better, huh? Ooh. Yeah, so I'm just kind of winging this. I have an idea of what I want to put, what else I want to put on there, but I always forget about it kind of needs something else, I feel like, on it besides just the paper and all that. This walnut stain really does oxidize well, and I like that. Let me grab my water, hold on. This one too, that kind of looks cool. There we go. You could even use a little peacock feather maybe to get that coppery sort of, I don't want gobs. It's the only thing about these spray bottles, they're kind of wow. And I don't have all the colors in the sprays, which also makes it tricky. Some I have in spray, some I have in ink pads. So I had to go to the good old dentist today to get my teeth cleaned, and that all went well, except like I've been telling you guys, I'm having trouble with my sinuses and an old root canal, and it's never going to end no matter what I do. So now they want me to go to an endodontist. I think it's how you say endodontist. I don't know how you say all these crazy things. You used to just go to the dentist and they did all the stuff to you, but whatever. Anyway, so now I gotta go make an appointment and do that. It's always a something. Root canals are kind of the most ridiculous thing, I've decided, because I mean, I've had it for probably 20 plus years, so I guess I can't really complain, but you get a root canal thinking, you know, that's it, now the root's dead and blah, blah, whatever, or gone, not just dead, but gone. And so, right, it shouldn't bug you after that. That's a funny joke. So, anyways. Gotta go do all that now. This is kind of cool because it's making this corrugated cardboard wet, obviously, and you can kind of squish it down in neat ways. I don't know if you can see how it's oxidizing, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, the camera really does not do it justice, I'm gonna say, but it looks pretty neat. I don't ruin this one by rubbing it on all this. Okay, I'm probably going to have to just stop and get this dry because there's going to be no way for me to continue with it sopping wet now. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause, get it dry, and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back and that's dry. I did add a little more of the different colors, and it's very hard to see on screen, but in person you can see it a little bit better. And so I ended up using, like I told you, walnut stain, rusty hinge, walnut stain spray, peeling, or I always want to call it peeling paint. It's just peeled paint, and peacock feathers. Those are the colors that I used to get that kind of rusty patina look, or whatever you might want to call it. Okay, and then we're just going to take, you know, bits and pieces and put them on our corrugated cardboard, which I don't need on there right now. So I have, this is a piece of like a inter-office mail, one of those giant manila file folders. And then this is just some kind of old book page. Well, not kind of, it is. And then I have a tea bag that is just real, it was like a purpley colored tea on the edges there. I just kind of liked the look of that. I have one of the tags from the kit, and I just tore around it and inked it a whole bunch with walnut stain. And this is a piece from the kit that, again, I inked up a lot with walnut stain. And then I had this and this. And this is a piece of a book spine. I don't know which way I want it. Piece of a book spine. I think I like this way because I like to see the threading in there. And just a little bit of burlap. I don't know if I want it this big. And that's just regular old burlap. Just like the texture of it. And this is a piece of Tim Holtz fabric I thought might look kind of cool under here somehow. But yeah, I gotta figure out how I want all that. It's a lot of things, I know, but it kind of looks cool when you have lots of layers. And this is a piece of ticking. And I think I got this from Vintage Polka Dot Shop. You know, you can get a lot of these things all over the place. So just go look around for ticking. Type it into Etsy. I'm sure you'll get loads of different, I can't remember what she called that one because it's got a little different color to the background. I bought it a few Christmases ago, so I've had it for quite a while. Okay, I'm just going to start laying stuff down, I think, since I kind of know what I want. At least I know the ones that go on the bottom. And I'll probably do some stitching too. This is the bottom, so that I'm going to put glue stick on first, and then just a little bit of tacky glue, because it is old and fragile, and I don't want to see the wet glue through it, which happens sometimes. So sometimes if you add a little bit of glue stick first, that you don't have that problem, because the glue stick makes like a barrier. I'll actually turn it this way, because I think I liked that in 1847. In fact, I might want that over this. This I'm just going to put tacky glue. Just gotta kind of play around when you're doing covers. It's hard to just grab some things, stick them down, and it turns out fine. You gotta sort of play around with it for a while and see what looks better here or there or whatever. And you don't want it to have a weird, super weird curve. I mean, you're gonna get some curving because it's wet, so, but try to make it have a flat-ish shape. Okay. And maybe I'll pull this over that way a little bit more. I might go ahead and take this edge off. It's not that where it's sealed, I don't like it as much. And I think I'll ink this edge. So I hope you guys are doing fantastically. I mean, I did mention that, but yeah, we're all doing good around here, just trucking along. I do want this down here, I think. I kind of, when I pulled off one of the strings, it got really tight right there. I kind of like the look of that, but I'm gonna ink it up a little. Dirty it up. And I don't know which, this is just a scrap I had, so I don't know which Tim Holtz fabric that is, but it is Tim Holtz, I do know that. So this will be here, roughly. I want this under. I like to see that in 1847. That's kind of cool. Could even bring that down a little more. I think I'll put it over rather than under. I want this up. I think I want the ticking on there. So maybe I'll put the ticking on there. It's just a process. Had a lovely weekend. It was fairly nice weather here, especially on, is it Saturday? Yeah, it was lovely. I like to not just cut it straight either. I like to kind of almost tear it a little with the scissors. I don't want to run a stitch through that. I think I want that one on top of there. And that inner office envelope, I just inked it, you know, bent it, inked it some more, stamped it. So that's how I got that kind of look on it. So I think that's really what we're going to go with. I'll wait to stitch because I'm going to stitch, I think, around the whole thing. So I'll just do all that at one time. So this one needs to go down next. Right there, I think. And then this also needs to go down. I'm just going to put a glue stick on that. It'll get trapped under there with stitching and all that, so I'm not that worried. I don't want to see the marks of the wet glue. And if it wrinkles, I'm good with that. So I want this one to kind of tuck right up there. That one's gonna go over. Sorry, I'm mostly talking to myself. You're probably like, yeah, you already said that. It's like, yes, I did, but I'm talking to myself. I'm looking for a paper towel to wipe off this glue. You would be very right if you said I already said that like a million times. I don't really have any stories. We haven't had, like I told you guys, we had a friend lose their mom. That was awful, is awful. It brings back all those awful memories. I mean, good memories of your parents, but you know what I mean? Like, just that sadness of when it's so new. Ugh. They're kind of in that shock phase. They knew it was coming, but you still go through that kind of wandering around like, I don't know, what's my purpose? What am I doing? I don't know, it's just so weird. I think I might actually try to put it under here a little bit. Should have thought of that sooner, Amy. Well, let's get a little glue on here. Let's see what we can do. You'll probably want to use Fabri-Tac. I'm going to do some stitching, so I'm not that worried about it, but yeah, that's not going to work. I'm just going to stick that down. Let me actually come over here a little bit more. I know you do all that work on the corrugated cardboard and then cover it up. Yes, I know. It's just the process. It gives you that layered look that we all want to get, right? And that's what you got to do to get that look. So if you don't do a layer, then it's not gonna appear the same way. And if you wanted to, you could put some foam dots in places if you want things lifted, but my whole thing is it's on the front of essentially a book, right? I wouldn't want somebody, whoever gets it, if they decided to, you know, put it in a bag or whatever. Everything's getting caught all the time and torn off, and I personally don't like that idea, but you do yours the way you like it. That's how we gotta do. All right, let's see if there's any other little bits I want to add somewhere. Oh, I do like this. That's called no more strength left in your hands. I mean, fabric can be hard to rip different directions, but it's gotten to be sad. My husband made me a tool. I'll show you. On the 3D printer, so like lids, because I keep getting this glue stuck and I can't get it off, so I can put it in here and you just, you know, twist and pull. It will pull, but anyway. It's just helpful because I can't open anything and I'm constantly taking him stuff and he's like, what do you do when I'm at work? It's like I either have to wait or I get violent with it. So he made me that. Yeah, it's a pain. I just have arthritis here and there. If you're like, why don't you have any strength in your hands? It's from doing this stuff for years and years and years. Plus, I'm just prone to it anyway, but. That doesn't help. I think I want some number or something or rather. got stacked some. Ooh, some of that would work. And that's in the abandoned kit. Kind of just like this little skinny. I printed it with no borders, so that's why it cut off. But if you do borders, it won't cut off like that. Ah, don't rip. I do that all the time. I don't love the one edge being straight, but I think it'll be all right. We can rough it a little with the scissors. I know, silliness, right? Okay, I'm going to use this too. I did water that Elaine's tacky glue down just a touch and shook it like really well, if you're wondering, because it is usually thicker than that. You would be correct. But, yeah, that's what I did. Alright, I think I'm going to go stitch, and then after I stitch I might add some staples, but I don't want to do that until I stitch, so I'll be right back. Okay, so have you ever heard that meme or whatever it is, like on Instagram and stuff, where it's like 3 hours later? Yeah, that's kind of what happened, because my sewing machine, we have a love-hate relationship, mostly love. But every once in a while, it just loses its marbles and will not work no matter what I do. So yeah, we had that. And my 3D printer, this is a book cradle. Or supposed to be a book cradle, is now trash. But yeah, it's been one of those kind of days. Like, and the other 3D printer is stuck in like a, it doesn't know what it's doing thing. So, needless to say, I've been gone for a while, but I finished this. And I know you're like, yeah, we don't, whatever. But seriously, what is that some days? No matter what, every machine in the house has lost its marbles today. So anyway, I'm back, but I don't know. It sort of is putting me in a foul mood, and it's snowing. Big, fat, juicy snowflakes. And they're not going to stick because it's the ground's too warm and everything, because we had a really warm weekend. We were almost up into the 60s. But anyways, still snowing nonetheless. So yeah, it's just going to be one of those kind of things where I want to scream. Okay, so I think this is good. I do like it a lot. I just wish the sewing machine would have cooperated. That would have been lovely. So now I'm just thinking, do I want anything else under this? I don't think I do. I think I just want it. Maybe I do. Hold on. I think maybe I need I can find some. Like some old, like this would be good. The side of this without the gesso would be good. That one book. Oh, I have these too. I don't know what I did with that other book. This is where I got the book page that's on there. It's a November 1978 Western Frontier magazine, but it has non-shiny pages, and that is the reason I got it. And they're patinaed, so it's fantastic. I just want to put maybe some little bits of paper, you know, just peeking, like so. I don't think I want that part on. I think I'll use this piece. So yeah, that makes me angry when I mess around with stuff for a really long time and waste my day. Well, it's not really a waste. I am getting something accomplished, but it's taking much longer than it should. And then I gotta go in now and figure out how to get that 3D printer working. And my husband spent all weekend fighting with them. I don't know what it is. They go through phases. I mean, I guess it's like everything, but they'll just print along and make beautiful cradles and everything, and then they go wacko. And you can't get them to do anything. And my husband has to take them apart and put new parts in them, which thank God for him, because otherwise there would be no book cradles, let me just say. I can troubleshoot them to a point and then I'm out, because I don't know how to, I'm not very mechanically inclined, like taking them apart. And I mean, I can finagle things, like I can think of ways to maybe fix something, possibly, if it doesn't have working parts that require a certain way of working. But if it's specific, then not so much. So yeah, that thing, those things, we have 3 of them now. One of them is really his for stuff he does because it's way complicated, but the other 2 I use and can sometimes figure them out, but I don't know how to take them apart and put them back together and do all that. I mean, I guess if he showed me, I could probably do it, but I prefer not to be honest. I'm on a need-to-know basis with that, and I don't need to know. Because, yeah, it's just, yeah. I'm sure you understand if you're not mechanically inclined. Not computer inclined, not mechanically inclined. You can give me a pile of junk, though, and say, do something with it, and I can do that. Which is real helpful, right? Yeah. Real helpful. We all got our thing, if you know what I mean. And I will let people have all the control they want of that mechanical stuff and computer stuff. We went and took my son to lunch the other day, and then we went over and got his sister a computer for her graduation. We gave it to her so she knows, so I can talk about it, because she's working on these projects for her end of year thing, and her computer that she had was just not able to run some of the graphic design things that she was doing. And my son, you know, fixed what he could for her, got it, some of the stuff working a little bit better, but it just doesn't have the power. So then we went to Best Buy after we had lunch and got her a computer, and that's always crazy to watch my son in his element. he totally gets all that stuff. And him and his dad are both kind of, you know, computer geeks, so they're good at all that. Thank God. Thank God somebody is, right? Because my daughter and I just function on a level of we do what we have to get done in order to be creative. That's our goal. That's our end. That's our winning point. When we get to do something creative with that stuff. Just don't ask us to troubleshoot it, because it won't be pretty. No matter how much we would like it to be. Do I want this under here or here? No, I don't think I want anything else on there. I feel like it's up too high. And if I pull it down, I guess I could add a little bit more numbers. Just don't want the super straight lines is what I'm trying to avoid. So we'll move it down that way this time. Can hear you. So that last piece was pointless, but you know what happens. Sometimes you just don't get it in the right spot. And you have to rethink it. Yeah, that book cradle is not even one I could sell as a misfit. It's for the garbage heap. We do try to not let that happen, because obviously we don't really want to waste all that. But sometimes, because I was at the dentist, I didn't catch it in time. To fix it before it did that. Okay. So yeah, snow. Can you believe snow? Eesh. I'm telling you. Some days. All I can say is I'm happy it's not sticking, but spring weather though, so that is good news, because that's what it is when we start doing that 60 degrees, and then next thing you know it's snowing, and then it's raining and hailing and doing all the things in one day. It's either fall or spring is what that is. Yeah, we're gonna put that one up there. Those are my bingo bits. They're in my shop. They're just fun to add, you know, just tuck places and stuff, because they're numbers. Okay, I think I finally have it where I want it. I'm gonna glue this down, but you could keep adding little bobs and goodies. So sorry I didn't do the envelopes on this one. I just wasn't feeling envelope-ish on this. Definitely going to be grungy. I can say that. Oh, I forgot to print out. I have a couple of new spring digitals. They're kind of like spring embroidery type. I might just show you on my iPad, just so you can see them, so I don't have to print them out at this instant. Since my printer probably won't work now, but I tried to go print something. since we're having so much machine luck today. I couldn't believe it when I went in there and one of those is frozen, just sitting there, trying to decide whether it has filament, even though it does. Filament is the plastic that it's made out of. And then the other one was just like a disaster, as you saw. So I'm kind of scared to turn on my paper printer and the sewing machine eating thread for some unknown reason, no matter how many times. And then finally I did it again and it worked. It's like you just don't know what gets those going. I did blow it all out, took it apart, and blew the inside all out, and so that's probably just needed. Dust bunny's gone. Okay. I will grab my iPad with my filthy hands. And I have a really fun project we're going to do tomorrow. It's a spring project. I got to get in here. I don't want to share my password with everybody. Oops. That's if I even know my password right. Oh, I already took them out of my thing. Things. Sorry, I'm looking on here. I'm just looking at my shop, actually, is what I'm doing. Let me do. So if you saw that, I just typed in spring on, and the spring stuff for my shop will pop up. So if you're in there and you're like, I can't find it, you can do little searches like that, and if that word is anywhere in it, it will pop up. So anyway, it's Springtime Flowers, Volume 1 and 2, and so they're those, they kind of look like needlepoint. It's hard to tell, obviously, because it has the crafty cut thing, and then the light shines and all of that. But anyway, you can go check them out in the shop, but they're just all kind of embroidered, or some of them look like velvet flowers. They're just all fun little, beautiful spring colored. They're more pastel than what you're seeing on the screen too. And sorry I didn't get them printed out. I just did not get that far today. And then we have Volume 2, which has a little bit more blues in it. So there's, and then of course I can only show you 10 on here. I wish I wouldn't have taken them off. I forgot I took them off of my Procreate already because they hog up so much memory. That's the other issue I have when people ask if I can email files to them. It's very hard because they never want to email because the files are too big. So that's another issue. Oh, I know what I can show you though. Let me get into my Crafty Cat account. So a lot of times people say they can't find their digitals. So up here at the top of your page, if you go in, get out of the app, because sometimes the app doesn't work for digital downloads, and I have no idea why. That's an Etsy thing, but Etsy is the one that sends you the emails. I don't, and they also send you the digital files. I don't do that. So anyways, if you go back into Etsy, log in with the email address that you use to buy the digitals. Because if you put in a different email address, like if you have multiple accounts, it's going to use that email address, and your digitals won't show up there if you're also using another email address. Anyways, at the top of your page, there's your profile picture, which for me is a picture of me, but for you, it could just be a silhouette inside of a circle. You click on that, and then you go to Purchases and Reviews. And then see, like, these are those spring words that I bought from Tsunami Rose. I can download that 1,000 times if I want to. It'll always be in there. So anytime you want, you can come in here. I bought Gail's Quilt kits, I need to download those. But anyway, you can, her vintage kitchen tablecloths, I can download them from here anytime. I don't have to have anything emailed to me. I don't have to do anything else. I can just come in and download them. And another thing I wanted to tell you is if it's a zip file, which all mine are zipped, I make them and I zip them. And that's for security purposes for myself and for you. It also compresses them down to a point where they can be mailed and all those kind of, you know, emailed or mailed out by Etsy, because it compresses those files down so they can move around easily. So if they're zipped, they're not just going to pop up on your screen. So you might be like, I didn't get it. Where is it? Then you need to go into your files, wherever your files are. And I know for different computers, that's going to be different. That's my Rusted Numbers one. I'll go to Recents. But see, in Recents is where it's going to show up. If you have a Recents, if you have a Downloads file, it could be there. So you have to check in your files when you download My Digitals, because they don't pop up on the screen like the PDFs do. Mine are PDFs, but I zip them or compress them for size and for security and all those kind of things. So they aren't going to just pop up on the screen. So you did get them. They're just going to go into a file, and it's usually a Downloads file or a Recents file. And so you can find them there. All right, and you can go there anytime. So here is my cover so far. Oh, we can put this back up this way a little more. But I like it. So that's my cover. I think it looks real grungy and good. So let me know what you guys think. If you like it, if you don't, whatever. Please like, subscribe, comment. You can comment to each other. Even if you just give me a little smiley face, excellent, love it. I do read all the comments and I will answer you. So please do that, because it does help the algorithm for the channel. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you again soon. Love ya. Bye.